All right. Hello, everyone. This is Stephen Hurd with Keller Williams Real Estate. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to do some live seller objection handling today. So I'm here with my buddy Joshua Pono in San Diego. Say hi, Josh.
Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today?
They're all saying they're doing great. They just PM'd me, so we're good.
Very good, very good. Thanks for having me, Stephen.
Yes. So Joshua, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Great. So I'm a listing agent for Kane Real Estate down in San Diego. We service anywhere from essentially Temecula all the way down to Chula Vista and as far east as El Cajon. My primary functions on the team is setting and taking listings, setting appointments, going out, getting the contract signed, and making sure that we get the process moving forward and get properties closed on.
Awesome. Cool. So tell us a little bit about, how many listings you've taken so far, let's say this year, and where your primary source of business comes from.
Awesome. So I'm a heavy prospector. I spend most of my time, I'd say 60 to 70% prospecting, and most of them are cold sources. I mean, overall, as a team, we do about 89% of our business being referral. Most of my new clients come from either canceled or expired or circle prospecting. Right now, on the books, I have personally 11 listings in all different stages, from coming soon to on the market to pending, and we've got another 4 in the 5 in the nurture stages where we've done listing appointments and we're just waiting to get some signed paperwork.
Awesome. And what's your average sales price there?
Typically, we're going to be in the 630 price range. A little bit spoiled.
So let's say 11 listings at 630,000. That's almost 7 million in volume. That's about 173,000 in potential commission income at 2.5%.
Yeah, I focus on the number of transactions. I took a couple different classes. They said the true measuring stick of a real estate agent is the amount of transactions they're doing, not GCI. And even Tim Heil up on stage said, "Be careful about chasing GCI." But I hadn't figured the numbers. What was it? 170 what?
That's about 173,000 gross commission income at 2.5%. So, I mentioned that just to build a little bit of credibility and say, you know what you're talking about when it comes to seller listings.
A little bit, enough to be dangerous.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's jump into some objection handling. Why don't you go first, and then you can give it to me afterward. Josh, we really like you, but we're thinking of listing with either Purple Bricks or Redfin. You guys are all going to do the same thing. You're going to put the sign in the yard and put it on the MLS. And honestly, they do that for 1% or less.
Okay, great. So what I hear you saying is that you're looking to make a decision soon. You're talking to a couple different agents, and right now, based on the information you have, you're leaning towards going with one of the discount brokerages like a Redfin or a Purple Bricks. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're leaning toward.
Okay, and I also heard you say that based on your previous experiences with real estate agents, that most of them do about the same thing. They put a sign in the yard, they do the paperwork, etc. And so you've never seen a major difference that warranted a difference in commission. And so if you can save the commission and go with a 1% agent, that would be putting some extra money in your pocket, which is ultimately what's important to you. Is that not what I'm hearing?
No, that's dead on. Yeah.
I've had many clients feel the same exact way, but what they've found was that going with a top team that focuses specifically on getting homes sold would ultimately be their best choice. Let me ask you a question. Did you know that just in the last 12 months, Redfin has had 257 contracts that they've signed with clients just like yourself, and either they got fired or they ran out of time to sell it?
No, I had no clue. I thought that
And did,
that every time a home gets listed, it gets sold.
well, many agents are in the business of listing homes, so I can appreciate where you're coming from. And also, in regards to Purple Bricks, last year they had 120 sales, which is not too bad, but 37 additional homes, almost 1 out of 4, a little more than 1 out of 4, also were they fired and it expired. Did you know that?
I had no clue.
You know, most of this information isn't made readily available to the public, and it wouldn't do too good on their branding and their websites if they said, hey, we're a discount brokerage and also we fail 25% of the time. So it's not readily made available to the public. But what I would tell you is that there is a vast majority of differences. Did you know that Brian Kane and I, out of the 63 homes we sold, only 3 of them expired or canceled?
I had no clue. No.
So our numbers are vastly more efficient and greater at getting the job done. Let me ask you this. If you could get a solid representation in place to represent you on the most valuable asset that you own, and you could walk away with the most money in your pocket, including the commissions, wouldn't you want to fully evaluate that before you made the choice to go with somebody who has a track record of discounting negotiations and not getting the job done?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I would definitely be open to hearing about that.
Great. Let me grab my calendar. That's exactly why we need to meet. I have Tuesday at 2 p.m. or Tuesday at 4:30. Which would work best for you?
Probably Tuesday at 4:30.
Great. I'm going to put you in my calendar, and here's what I'm going to cover. I'm going to spend 90% of my time educating you on what's going on in the market so that you can make the most critical decision based on accurate and reliable information, which is ultimately what you want, right?
Oh, definitely.
Great. I've got you in my calendar, and then I would go into grabbing some details and solidifying the appointment.
Good job, man. That was great. So I like what you did there, how, you brought up some of their stats and you talked about your stats and how they compare. So that was good. You gave them some valid reasons. Okay. So I'll go through that one now if you want to give that to me.
All right. Awesome. I always love seeing a different approach. Let's see what you got. All right. Do you want me to just start right in with the objection?
Yeah.
All right. All right, great. I appreciate that, Stephen. We've pretty much already made the decision that we're, listen, homes are a lot, realtors, they all do the same thing, and we're going to go with somebody like Redfin or Purple Bricks or, I know agents that'll list it for 1% all day.
Definitely. You know what? And I can so appreciate the fact that you can see, Joshua, that most real estate agents really don't do anything other than put the home on the MLS and put a sign in the yard. So in your mind, you're thinking, why would I pay someone 3% when someone else is offering to do it for 1%? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys do paperwork, you order some signs, and it's not rocket science, Stephen. Ultimately, price is what's going to drive the property.
You know what? I absolutely agree that the traditional agent, they just do some paperwork. They just, rely on pricing and MLS to get it sold. And yet, are you aware of what the average listing to sale price is for most agents in our marketplace? So what they list for versus what they sell it for.
I mean, the market seems to be pretty solid. It's got to be full price, right?
I'm so glad that we're talking about this right now, because actually it's only about 93.75% of the sales price. So if a traditional agent lists the home, let's say a Redfin or a Purple Bricks, for about $100,000, it generally ends up selling for around $93,000. Do you know what our team stats are?
No, I don't.
Well, just in the last 12 months, we get on average 98.5% of the listing price. Meaning when you list with us, you automatically have a 5% advantage. Now, can I share with you why that is?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Great. You know, in selling real estate for the last 10 years, Joshua, what I have found is that there are so many things within our control as realtors and salespeople that actually influence the price of the home. As an example, the days on market. Do you know what happens when a home sits on the market for 90 days or more?
Well, I mean, everybody knows that if a property sits on the market, it's going to decrease in value, right?
Absolutely. I mean, when you guys are out shopping for homes and you see something that's been on the market for 3 months with no offers, what kind of discussion do you start to have with your wife?
Yeah, I mean, we all want to know what's wrong with the house. But again, I mean, price is everything, right? If you market the property at the right price, it's going to sell really, really close without any effort, isn't it, Stephen? You know that.
You know what? During a hot market, I couldn't agree with you more. Price is one of the main things that gets homes sold. In the last year, we have had a massive shift in our marketplace where homes that were selling in 30 days for full price are now selling in about 120 days or more by most agents in the marketplace. Are you seeing some of the headlines on the Orange County Register and in the news?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not as hot. I've seen some of the news, and the market has changed a little bit.
Absolutely. So would you agree that if a home sells faster, it's generally going to attract a better offer?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Right. Assuming all things are constant, if it sits on the market for longer, it's going to get stale and buyers are thinking, why not get a discount? So the
Yeah.
traditional brokerage like, a Redfin or Purple Bricks, their listings are sitting on the market on average right now for 6 months. Were you aware of that?
No, I wasn't.
What would your life look like having to have your home on the market for half of a year?
Uh, I mean, it wouldn't be pleasant, obviously, showing, this isn't our first rodeo, Stephen, and, we don't want to have the showings, the open houses, the cleanings, all that.
Right, right. It takes a lot of time and energy to go through that. Now, let me ask you this. What if you went through all of that process and your home didn't sell? How would that feel?
We'd obviously be pretty frustrated. We
Definitely.
want to get moving on. We want to cash out, and we want to get going.
Yeah, you want to get to the next place and you want it to be a smooth transaction. Do you know how many homes that Purple Bricks listed that didn't sell in the last year?
No, I don't know that number.
About 130 people signed up for their service. They paid the $3,500 and their home didn't sell and they still lost their money. Honestly, does that sound like good business practice to you?
No. I mean, it just seemed attractive. You pay the 3,500, and it can sit forever. But I didn't really think about it like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you really should only pay someone if they get a result, which is how we work and why we're so motivated to get you the highest possible price because we're bonused off of making you more money. Now, don't you want to work with someone who has a mutual interest in profit for you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, why don't you come over? You made your point.
How does Tuesday afternoon work? Or if you'd like, I can come by Wednesday anytime after 3.
Well, you know what? You're making a lot of sense to me, but I should probably talk to my wife. I mean, I'm the decision maker, but happy wife, happy life, Steve. So let me talk to her. Let me get back to you.
Absolutely. And again, I'm going to agree with you. Definitely want you to talk to the wife before you invite a salesperson over, right? I would do the same exact thing. Just looking at the calendar tentatively, do you know if weekday afternoons or weekends work better for you guys?
We work nonstop during the week, and the weeks Monday through Friday. I'm not gonna lie, man. By the time we put down the kids, we're just done. So it definitely would have to be a weekend, and I'm not really sure what's going on this weekend because she schedules all that.
Awesome. Do you know kind of on the top of your head if you have any major appointments, let's say on Saturday?
No, I think Saturday. We're just there's no soccer. I know that, and so I think actually this Saturday we don't have much going on.
Perfect. Well, let's go ahead and do this because I think it makes a whole lot of sense. Let's set a tentative appointment for Saturday. for one of my team members or myself to stop by and tour your home. And I'll actually give you a call tomorrow afternoon, see if you've had a chance to speak with your wife and if that time still works. Is that fair?
Yeah, that'll work. That sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's see you Saturday at 10, and I'll give you a call tomorrow before the end of day. Okay?
Sounds good.
Cool. Cool. Thoughts on that one?
I try to throw you off guard a little bit. I gave you the appointment and tried to take it away. So I always appreciate how calm and cool and casual you are, no matter what you say as an objection. It's important that you're not caught off guard because, people want to work with people that are prepared for all situations. So that was good. One thing I like to do, and I've heard many thoughts on this. It's a psychology of selling. We all got our own style. But one thing I like to do in that situation is take the same approach of get it in the calendar. But I like to throw a little nugget to coach them on, just like we have to coach buyer's agents on what to say to their clients. I feel it's really important to coach the decision maker on what to say to the other person. So I'll throw a little nugget in there like, hey, just so you know, let your wife know that in 15 to 30 minutes, I'm going to be able to handle all the questions and show you guys how to put an extra $15,000 to $30,000 potentially in your pocket by going with a team that has a success rate of 98% or whatever your statistics are. And so that way, if they get a little resistance, they're a little prepared. But I've had some people say, that sounds a little desperate. And I think it's all how you say it, right? I think it's how you approach it. But I like to do that as well. That's the only thoughts I have.
Yeah, I love that. And it's funny, as you mentioned that, I realized that I do a form of that through my database. So what I do through Boomtown is I'll usually say, I know we went over a lot of information today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to summarize it in an email, and then it'll give you some talking points with you and your wife. And if you guys both think it'll be of value, we can still meet on Saturday at 10. Would that work? And that way
it's almost like giving them a script.
Exactly. That's so I just kind of naturally have done that. And that's so funny that you brought that up. But you're absolutely right. I mean, it's like it's going to get lost in translation from you to the seller to his wife, So I like that a lot of like coaching him on, hey, here's what we're going to be discussing. So this is what you can share with her.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now let's grill you with some, one point you mentioned about being cool and calm, right? That comes from a whole lot of really rapid fire objection handling. So something that I've had a habit of doing is when I role play, I've had people really rapid fire objections at me. Like with my team, I'll have them kind of go around the room and give me objections because, if you're a karate master and someone walks up to you and they're like, I'm going to punch you, you're not worried because you've practiced every single scenario of how you're going to defend yourself. And so it comes down to when you've practiced something so much, I kind of get excited for them to give me objections because I know it's going to be an opportunity for them to see my confidence and ultimately decide to work with me.
It's a really good point. I work with agents when talking about the fundamental of sales, and it comes from a mindset, right? Like there's nothing, if you're on the phone with somebody and they're going to run from you and hang up quickly, there's nothing that you can't stop that. There's no magic. Like if that's that type of person, it's almost, I always used to liken it like when we were dating back in the day. I know both of us are married and been for a long time, but it's funny because if you run up to a woman and you start talking to her and she starts to go away, there's not much you can do to change it if she's already made up her mind. And the same thing where it's like, let people say what you're going to say, take a deep breath, no big deal, and collectively hear what they said. First seek to understand what they're saying and then be understood. And so, no matter what they throw at you, hey, no problem. I can appreciate that. I've heard that a million times from clients just like you. One thing you might consider, and then just redirect that energy.
Yeah, and I like what you do where you say, that's exactly why we need to meet. So you kind of
right?
frame their objections and you say, yeah, that's a good objection. And that's why we need to meet. And it's really
Yep.
hard to say no to that. You're like, after hearing it 3 or 4 times, you're like, well, that's why we need to meet.
Yeah. I hate real estate agents. I know. I can appreciate that. And that's exactly why we need to meet. That's
Okay,
it.
cool. So let's switch gears into expired expired objections. Okay, because
Okay.
this is your level of expertise, and this is not something that I focus on personally a lot. However, I'll share my objection handlers after as well. So,
Okay.
Joshua, thanks for calling. But we're going to relist with the same agent. So, have a great week.
Yeah, thank you so much for letting me know that. So what you're saying is you guys are going to come back to the market very soon, and you have decided that going with the same exact agent who you had previously was going to be the best outfit for you. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, hey, no problem. I completely understand that. As a matter of fact, that's what most people decide. Quick question, though, out of curiosity, because I'm always wondering, how did you meet this agent? How do you know this agent?
Well, they were the buyer's agent on our house. We came to the open house, and they were the one hosting it, and we ended up buying through them.
Gotcha, gotcha. So you had been touring homes and you met this agent at an open house on the previous transaction. It seemed to go fine. They represented you on the buy side, and so that's how you met them, and that's why you decided to go with them. Because if they represented you on the purchase side, then why not have them list your home as well?
Yeah, and we've stayed in touch with them, and they were, they've always been very nice to us. And our kids go to the same school.
I can appreciate that, and I love hearing about agents doing a good job in building relationships. There's so many agents that have commission breadth and just don't care about the clients. So that's really nice to hear. Out of curiosity, knowing this agent, you said they work with both buyers and sellers, correct?
Yeah, they kind of, just that's kind of they just help anyone.
Gotcha. Okay. And so they do everything from buying, selling, they run their own business, and that's the way they approach real estate. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great. And out of curiosity, because we all know that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and again and hoping or expecting different results. Why did they say the property didn't sell last time? And what did they present to you in the form of an action plan to get it sold this time? What's going to be different?
Well, they just said that the market was bad, because we listed it in October, and they just said, well, maybe it was the wrong timing. So now that it's spring, it should just fly off the market. I don't know if they
Got,
necessarily had a different plan, but that's just what they told us.
you know, I hear what you're saying loud and clear. And just so you know, my focus, most of my business that isn't referral, past and repeat clients, is from canceled and expired properties. We've built a reputation for successfully getting properties sold that didn't sell the first, second, or third time. And the number one reason that I hear sellers saying in regards to the property not moving was, hey, Josh, it was a slower time in the market, and now that things are heating up, it's going to be better, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. But did you know that through November, December, and January, there were 30,000 homes that sold in all of San Diego County?
No, I had no clue.
And the interesting thing is you really only need one buyer to buy your house, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Did they share the current February stats with you? Because last year in 2018, up until this point, we had 7,100 homes that sold. And this year, we actually only have 5,100. So the market hasn't actually heated up. So when they say to you, did you know that?
No, that's kind of what I was figuring, because it's taking homes longer to sell. So I was a little bit curious about that, I'll be honest.
Right. So can I share my philosophy in real estate with you?
Sure.
I believe that reliable information and a good education allow clients like yourself to make the most accurate decision. And what I hear you saying is that you've got an agent who, although is nice, and you're a nice person and loyal, they're making decisions without all of the information, and you are being guided without all the information. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's true.
That is exactly why we need to meet. Let me put together a listing package from my listing manager, and let me show you why we sold 122 homes. But here's the thing, I won't come at it from a sales approach. I won't do a sales pitch. I will simply give you legitimate facts of what's going on in the market. I will show you exactly how we and why we have built a reputation for repositioning properties correctly to get them sold for the most amount of money with the least amount of stress in the appropriate time, which ultimately is what you want, isn't it?
Absolutely.
All right, great. Let me grab my calendar. I have Tuesday at 2 and Tuesday at 4:30. Which would work better for you?
Well, Taco Tuesday is a pretty sacred event in my family. Do you have anything on Wednesday?
You know what? I appreciate saving me. My wife would have killed me if I didn't make her a margarita. Taco Tuesday is a big day in our day. So Wednesday would be a better day for you?
Yes.
Would you prefer morning or afternoon?
I'd prefer afternoon.
All right. I've got 1:30 and I've got 5 o'clock available. Which would work best?
Probably 5 because I get off work around 4.
All right, so that'll give you enough time. That'll be great. I'm going to put you in my calendar, and then, of course, I go into confirming the details.
Awesome. That was really, really good. So I love how the more
Thank you, buddy.
objections I give you, the more confident you get.
All right.
It's almost like you kind of thrive on the challenge.
A little bit.
So good job on that. And again, when you use that, that's exactly why we need to meet. It was the perfect timing. You paused a little bit to allow a little bit of dramatic sense, right? And you hit it at the right time. So great job on that.
Thank you, sir.
So go ahead and give me that one.
All right. All right. So we're gonna come in and we're gonna go with the same agent, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Stephen. Nope. I really appreciate your follow-up. And just so you know, I've gotten a bunch of phone calls. You're probably the 20th one today. We already have a friend. We're going to use the same agent again, and
Nice.
that's just what we decided. But I appreciate your time.
Definitely. And I appreciate your time, Joshua, and the fact that you've taken my call after talking to 20 agents. I just want to say thank you for doing that. So what I'm hearing you saying is you're already going to be working with the same agent who listed your home and who had it on the market previously.
Yeah, that's that's just what we've decided to move forward with.
Got it. And I appreciate the honesty and thank you for telling me that. I'm curious, you had your home on the market for about 6 months, right?
Yeah, 6 months. But I mean, honestly, Stephen, here's the deal. Like, we told them what price. We totally get what's going on. We wanted to take a shot, and that's what we did. So it wasn't their fault. They were phenomenal.
Right, right. So they did everything they needed to do. They just, at the end of the day, it was about pricing for you guys.
Yeah.
Sure, sure. I'm curious if you were able to get that price and get the terms you needed and everything worked out in your favor, would you still want to sell?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
So when you guys do sell this home, and assuming you are able to get that price, what's driving you to move?
Well, we've got another baby on the way. We have 2 kids that are in middle school. They're getting ready to go to high school. We need a second bedroom. We need to split them up and get them their own room. And hey, you got me going down this train, but at the end of the day, like I said, I'm still going with the same agent. So I just,
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing here.
You know what? I respect that, Joshua. And here's why I'm calling, right? Of the last 100 people that I've talked to that have had their home come off the market and they relisted with the same agent, would you like to know how many of them actually sold?
I don't know how many.
Only about 60% of them. So they had the same strategy as you because their agent albeit a very nice person. You know, they worked their hardest. At the end of the day, they just didn't get the result that was expected. Now, Joshua, what do you do for a living?
I am a carpenter.
You're a carpenter, right? Would
Right.
somebody pay you to only complete half of a project?
No. Sometimes they don't even pay me when I complete the projects.
Right, right. It's a battle even if you do it right. Now, has there ever been a time when another carpenter didn't do the project right, even though they were a great person, and they hired you and you actually ended up getting the result because you're an expert at what you do?
Right. I see where you're going.
Yeah. So you've been there yourself, which is exactly why we should meet, because of the 68 home sales that we had last year, 22 of those were
Yep.
listed, Joshua. And do you want to know how many didn't sell?
How many?
Not a single one did not sell. Can I share with you the main reason why?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you got?
Because we have a team of 6 individuals who are dedicated to one thing: finding the buyer that gets emotionally attached to your home, pays you the highest price, and sticks in escrow. At the end of the day, that's all you need to get that bigger home for you and your family, so that as you grow as a family, you're not cramped up in a house. That's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. That's what we want.
Great. So listen, I don't expect you to trust me because we just started talking over the phone. What I would like to do is sit down with you for about 30 to 45 minutes, educate you on everything you need to know about selling in this market, and give you a step-by-step plan to make sure you get the result you need when you are ready to sell. And if you decide you want to move forward with me on that plan, great. And if not, that's okay too. Either way, you'll have the information you need. Isn't that easy?
Easy enough, man. I'll give you the 15 to 30 minutes.
Awesome. How does weekday afternoons work, or are weekends better for you?
Let's do weekends.
Weekends. All right. How does Saturday morning or afternoon?
Let's do Saturday morning. Does 10 o'clock work for you?
10 works for me. And Joshua, when we get together, assuming you like everything I have to say and it all makes sense, I'm curious, are you planning to relist your home, within the next 30 days or after that?
Yeah, we really want to try to get this project moving. We're going to do a couple different things, and we want to get it sold as soon as we can. So, we're looking for options, and we do want to get this going sooner rather than later.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, I will see you Saturday at 10 a.m.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool.
So I love at the end, I threw you some curveballs again. I know you enjoy a challenge, and I know that I'm not really going to take you off your rocker, but I love at the end how you went into you're still going to trial close, right? Like you're still going to do some sort of decision-making trial closing at the end there where, so many times I've seen other agents, great, they're willing to meet, let me just run out there, and they get there, and then it's like, well, I just wanted to get your opinion, and so sometimes it's really great to say, hey, at the end, I'm going to do my best to give you an education. I'm going to show you what we can do. You will know how we're going to sell it. You will know for how much we're going to sell it, and you will know for how long it's going to take. And at the end, if you love me, if you think my commission is acceptable, if we come to terms, do I have the opportunity to earn your business? And that's a straightforward one, but you can do it softly, all kinds of different things.
Definitely. And, I think there's a difference between passion and pushiness. And
right.
I think when we have these conversations, you and I know that we're the freaking cure to cancer for the seller. I mean, you and I know that the experience they're having is a terrible one and that they absolutely deserve better, right?
Well, there's a reason the property didn't sell. Like that objection that comes up all the time. Well, I picked the price. Well, that'd be like telling a doctor after he looks at your CT scans, no, I'm going to pick my cure. I'm going to pick my prescriptions. Well,
Right.
And then when they don't work, well, it wasn't the doctor's fault. Well, clearly the doctor didn't do a good job at inspiring fear in
Yeah,
you because you were playing with fire. And so as much as you want to say you're the driver, if I get somebody that's so out of whack that I know it's just not going to sell, you got to walk away from the listing, which is tough. It's bold, but you got to be willing to have that conversation, right? If you're a doctor.
definitely. And the point I'm kind of making is just, you know, in order to be able to close a lot of appointments and to get out in front of them, you have to be super passionate. You have to believe in what you're selling. And sometimes that's the only unique advantage. Sometimes they're hearing the same script from 20 other agents. And because you delivered it with passion and excitement and you believe in it, they will start to believe in you, right?
For sure. That's like a whole nother podcast.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, good role playing with you today. And where can they, if anyone wants to reach out and connect with you, how can they connect with you?
Great question, man. You can email me, Josh Pono. It's like Sonny Bono, but with a P, realtor@gmail.com. You can get me on Facebook, send me a message, and whatever questions you guys got, I can help out with.
Awesome, man. All right, bud. Well, I appreciate your time. You have an amazing day, all right?
Yeah, you too, man. Enjoy the vacation coming up. Get your work done and get out.
I will. I'll see you, bud.
Later, buddy.